I remember meeting the feeling for the first time. I was 14, just starting high school. The feeling, which I can best describe as a melancholy nausea that dims the brightest lights and silences the happiest music, tormented me as it settled into the penthouse of my brain. It was a program that wouldn't stop iterating, and after a while, it evolved from a feeling into a state of being. The new tenants had bought the entire building. I look back at the girl I was in those years as a character in a novel, but with lots of the pages and all of the happy ones ripped out. I remember not being able to get out of bed, and only getting out of bed when I thought someone might notice that I was sick. I remember praying hard and hearing nothing back. I remember sitting in Spanish class wondering how many people would show up to my funeral if I made one happen. I remember wishing I could tell someone. I remember promising myself, vividly, that I would live long enough to see the next Twilight movie. I know, it's weird. I really wanted to see those movies. I remember my best friend telling me that I was too depressed to be her friend anymore. I remember driving the Texas highways, thinking that with one swoop, all the pain could end. I would grip the wheel extra tight and speed up so I wouldn't give myself enough time to flinch. Avoided sharp objects. I remember imagining myself doing terrible things in graphic detail, caught in my head like a broken reel. I would curl up on my bed or on the floor of my closet each night as I held my legs to my chest and clenched my teeth and cried silent tears, begging it all to go away. And in that 2-year period, I don't remember much else. Sometime around then, my high school English teacher had us write letters to our future selves, to be mailed to us after graduation, but I didn't remember writing one. I'll never forget July 20th, 2013. By some combination of grace, luck, therapy, and time, I was feeling better. I was dew-bound, and the feeling hadn't visited me in a couple of months. That day, I went out in the summer heat to check the mail, and when I saw an envelope addressed to myself in my handwriting, I didn't know what it was. So I sat down on the floor of my closet, closed the door, and opened it. Dear Lizzie, it read. I'm supposed to write you a letter, but I doubt you'll ever read this. I sure wouldn't bet on it. Love, Lizzie. I couldn't cry. I could only stare at the page as feelings came flooding back. After years of blocking in and out, I consciously recognized myself creating a memory. I promised to myself then and there that I would do anything I could to keep myself from getting reacquainted with that shell of a miserable person with no one to turn to. That was the day I promised that I would prioritize happiness. The hardest thing I learned in therapy was that my depression and OCD would never go away completely. But I vowed to myself that even though the feeling may come back to visit, even though I'd never be completely cured, that I would protect myself. I would protect that girl however I could. People at Duke ask me all the time why I don't get stressed about school, how I have time to sleep for 9 hours every night, or how I've watched all of Nashville within the past 3 weeks. My answer to them is that I'm helping out an old friend. I wouldn't wish this way I felt upon my worst enemy, but I know that despite what I wish, people are feeling their version of my feeling right now. So I have something I need to tell you. It gets better. It really, really does. I know this because I chose to stick around. I know it gets better because I watched the leaves turn slowly. I know it gets better because I saw all 5 Twilight movies, each of which got worse and worse. I stuck around long enough to encounter the greatness that is Benny Book. I was here when Duke won a national championship. I know it gets better because of a good man I met my freshman year. He didn't love me back quite the way I loved him, but that's not the point. The point is that the girl who wrote the letter 4 years earlier met him. I know it gets better because last March for 4 nights in a row, I sat with my friends who had become my family as we watched a different sunset behind the hills of rural Maryland each night. I wish I could bring her to that place. I don't know what the future looks like, but I finally see it as a legitimate option. I want to make a difference in the worlds of people who understand mine. I want to teach high school English. I want to go to Asia. I want to see the musical Hamilton. And I want to meet Ellen DeGeneres. And most of all, I want to fall in love. I want to give away the love that I've kept to myself for so many years because I haven't been strong enough to give it away. I want to tell you this story. Feel your skin warm against mine and feel our fingers click together like magnets that have been held on opposite sides for too long. I'll be waiting for you here. I promise.